Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys making a little time out of your day to check the video out. Always grateful for that, and I really appreciate all the fans coming back and watching the videos, and all the people that can't stand me because I say something bad about their live scope and they unsubscribe, but they still watch the videos. I just want to know everybody's welcome here, so thanks a lot for watching the video today. Guys, got another story today. It's been a while since we've told one. I've actually had several requests over the past week to tell some stories. It seems like every time I do an anti-live scope video, I get people saying, hey, stop with the anti-live scope videos and tell some stories. So here's one for you guys per that request here. I'm going to tell you guys about one of the it was probably the most intense interaction, or it wasn't really a confrontation, but the most intense interaction I've ever had while I was fishing in a tournament with an individual. We were fishing I was fishing the U.S. Open at Lake Mead. This was 2015 or 2016. And you guys have heard me talk about Lake Mead before. Lake Mead is my favorite lake in the country. I love Lake Mead. It's without a doubt. I've never been on a lake that is anything comparable to Lake Mead, unless it's maybe Lake Powell, which is nearby there. But if you guys have never fished Lake Mead, it's like stepping back in time. It's almost like fishing on the moon. It's one of the few places that you can go and never see any sign of civilization all day, other than these relentless helicopters that are driving back and forth over the lake from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon, which is very irritating. But other than that, it's truly one of the most remote lakes in the country. Fishing out there it's really, it's better than what people think. A lot of people label Lake Mead as like a really bad place to fish, but I love fishing out there. But anyway, if I look a little sleepy, it's like 4:30 in the morning when I'm filming this video. I just got out of bed a little bit ago. But anyway, I was practicing. This was a practice day at Lake Mead, and I had launched up near the Temple Bar area of the lake. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lake Mead, you know Temple Bar, but Temple Bar is one of the most well-known areas of the lake on Lake Mead. It's probably about, it's 25 miles up from the dam there. And I was in the back of this cove there on Lake Mead there fishing, and it was pretty early in the morning. It was probably, the sun had been up about an hour or so. And I was in the back of this cove, and I was working my way out. And as I was working my way out, this boat was idling in towards me, towards the back of the cove there. And it was a very odd boat to see on Lake Mead, because this boat, it looked like it was 80 years old. It was a beat up, scratched up looking white aluminum boat that looked like somebody had thrown 1,000 rocks at it, and it would look like it had like a 1965 horse motor on it. And there was this very Native American looking, very intimidating looking Native American man in this boat idling towards me. And I could see he had a rifle leaning on a seat there, idling towards me like that, and fishing poles and that type of stuff. So he idles up to me there, and I'm on my trolling motor out, and he goes, you in here catching my fish? And I sort of laughed, and I said, well, I'm not catching too many fish because it's pretty tough. And he didn't smile. He looked at me like this mad look. He goes, no, I'm serious. You in here catching my fish? And I said, well, I'm not catching many fish like this. He goes, I'm sick of you white guys coming in here thinking you own Lake Mead. This is my lake. He goes, this is my place. He goes, my people have been here for almost 10,000 years. And you guys come in here in your $80,000, well, I think it was 60,000 at the time or whatever, $60,000 or $70,000 boats, acting like you own the place like that. And he was getting pissed about this. And I was sort of taken aback. I didn't really know how to handle this a little bit, because I'm like in the middle of nowhere with this dude. And, you know, he's obviously a native to the area like that, Ute Indian. And so he's talking like that a little bit. I'm just sort of listening to him. And he goes, you know where Temple Rock is? And I know, and Temple Rock, that's part of why they called this area Temple Bar. Temple Rock it's this incredible, gigantic, almost like a little mountain of rock with a flat top on it. He goes, you know where Temple Rock is? And he goes, I said, yeah. And he goes, well, you know, when the white settlers came in here, my people used to take them up there and push them off the top of Temple Rock. He goes, maybe we should still do that today, like that, without even smiling, like saying something completely serious. So I'm like, I said, I had to think a little bit about how to respond to this guy, because it's like I was sort of in a state of shock about his attitude, and I didn't know what his intentions were. I mean, the dude had a rifle, like a lever action rifle, right there in his boat with him. And first of all, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Native American Indians. You guys hear me talk about it on this channel up there all the time. I'm one of the guys that in movies, I root for the Indians. I don't root for the cowboys. So that's coming from my respect, and I've got a lot of knowledge of their history. So when he said, I I totally understand what you're talking. I said, the Native American peoples in this country got screwed by the white settlers. I totally get it, how you could feel so angry and so much animosity. I can't imagine if I was, 200 years ago, and I was an 18-year-old Ute Indian warrior living here, and I started seeing these white settlers come on my lands out of nowhere and start, doing whatever, mining for gold or whatever on my lands. I said, I'd feel the same way about it. I said, I totally get where you're coming from. And it didn't seem to make an impact with this guy. This dude did not want me in there. He was still pissed about it, but I think it maybe eased him a little bit, because he probably did not expect that. He probably was looking for some type of confrontation. But anyway, I just sort of eased out along there, and he never cracked a smile. He was just staring at me the whole way out of there. It's like this dude did not want me in there. And sort of speaks to the bigger picture a little bit. I've got one of the things that I don't think gets talked about enough is how that was the darkest period of the United States history. What the settlers in this country did to the Native Americans it was unforgivable. It was tragic. It was horrific. I mean, it's a stain on our country. And I totally get how Native Americans can feel the way that they do, in light of that. I mean, the Eastern Europeans, when they came over here and said they discovered, what is now the United States, they didn't discover anything. They basically invaded what is now the United States. There were millions of Native Americans that were already here, and they'd been here for over 30,000 years. And then, like Lewis and Clark, people say Lewis and Clark, explored America. They didn't explore nothing. People already knew what was out there. The Native American indigenous peoples have been here forever, thriving and living in this country and leaving it unchanged for thousands of years. I mean, they lived in complete harmony and balance with our environment. And they were able, like I said, to live here thousands of years without having hardly any impact on the environment. And anytime I think about it, it makes me sick in my stomach, and I think a lot of people do. But the thing about it, it's like this Native American was basically, he was trying to label me as this white dude that's coming over and taking his land. It's like I wasn't even here then. My parents immigrated from Germany in the 1930s, over here. So I wasn't even around back when, they were being exploited the way they were back there. But I totally get the way he was feeling, and it was a really, really odd situation. And it makes me even be more empathetic for the Native Americans, and even how, they've been treated in this last 100 years. Treaties been broken. They've been forced to try to, we've forced them to try to integrate into the culture of the Eastern Europeans, which was not right at all. I mean, they had their own cultures here. So I just feel terrible about it, and so I just really wish I could have let this dude know that I was really on his side, and I completely understood the way he felt. But anyway, that was a very odd situation. There was a few minutes there where I really didn't know what the heck. I may have been like one of those stories like bass angler found dead at Lake Mead. That was sort of running through my mind, the way this guy was looking at me and talking to me. But anyway, guys, just another story about one of the countless stories I've had from fishing professionally over the past 40 years. So thanks for tuning in. We'll talk later.